My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun the command of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun the political, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not day off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo.
Hello there.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Thank you so much for joining me from wherever you are watching from. Remember, share the broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. Just tell them, Mayegun today.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun diary political. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Godfatherism, kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary.
Poverty is not a shameful thing, but not acceptable. Kọlu.
Làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn rà kì í. Mayegun ti dé.
Ó ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì í. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rà kì í.
Abacha, years after his death, continue to credit Nigeria, to debit Nigeria with money from the grave. He continued to dash money to Nigerian looters. It is the turn of Kolu, $150 million from France. Will be returned to Nigeria. And guess who is going to be in charge of that money? Bagudu, the same guy who was Abacha's bagman, the man that helped Abacha to siphon Nigeria's money, is now the budget minister under Pablo Escobar. There is good news. And it is coming from what Kolu is doing with the central bank under Emefiole. Emefiole and Bokwari, they fleeced Nigeria. But some of the billions of dollars that Nigeria currently owes as debt, or those that disappeared without trace, it seems that Dangote, the same quota system billionaire, has been involved all along. Please share the broadcast. Read the caption. Read the description, okay? Get yourself settled. We are starting in a minute. Motide. So good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Mayegun and it is live. Tinubu held what they called ministers' retreats, where those who are ministers under Kolu will be kind of lectured on how they are going to help Kolu to achieve his renewed shege or renewed hopelessness. In that gathering, Kolu said, although Nigeria currently ranks as the poorest country on earth right now, poverty is not really a bad thing or a shameful thing. At least if you are making efforts to escape poverty. And he was telling his ministers and his appointees, you need to do something, because if you check your own lives and your history, you will see traces of poverty. But look at you today. You have escaped poverty. Use yourselves as a good examples to Nigerians that we have dipped in an intentional poverty. Generational one. Oh. It might sound like, Kolu has been sounding like a motivational speaker anyway. But let's put that aside before we come back to it. The same voodoo economy that destroyed Nigeria under the APC, Egbekegbe, is the same thing that Tinubu and his gang of thieves are doing. But because Nigerians have been proven to be suffering from generational Stockholm syndrome. And most of the time, whenever the truth is staring them on the face, they love to create an alternative reality, and they believe them. But when everything finally kind of explodes, they begin to call on God. God, come and rescue Nigeria. I will do my own little best, because God is not coming to rescue you. You are never going to wish yourselves out of a self-inflicted poverty through bad, corrupt rogues that you call leadership, the dealers. Now, let me not sound so kind of, off to you. Here is something. Economic, what you call the voodoo economy. And I'll give you an instance. When this rogue APC, Egbekegbe, came in, they started their, as usual, right? They started the criminal adventure with the Central Bank of Nigeria. Now, over the years, as I have said many times on Mayegun's Diary Political, whenever politicians want to deceive you into believing that they understand Nigeria's problems, most of the time, they will tell you that they have all of the solutions to all of Nigeria problems because they created the problems. The moment they have the power, they begin to have, instead of solutions, they will begin to have all kinds of excuses. This is what they do. Now, here is how it all started. Politicians will tell you the reasons why Nigeria Naira is as worthless as a tissue paper in the world today is because there is nothing backing the Nigeria naira, no production, nothing other than the crude oil of Nigeria. So what were they doing? Normally, the Central Bank of Nigeria is in the best position to provide all of the needed foreign exchange for all Nigerians officially. But here is when the problem started. When these rogues came in, Nigeria foreign reserve was put at $33 billion, something like a credit collateral. So if you have to kind of tell people to come and invest in Nigeria, you can tell them that the giant of Africa has just $33 billion in foreign reserve. But that is just aside. When these rogues came in, right? Nigeria had saved 7.5 billion US dollars in what was called the excess crude account. Now, why am I mentioning all these dollars to you? They were substantial because as corrupt as the PDP criminal gang were, right, they still managed to keep something aside for the raining day, because that thing they put aside is the lifeline, the insurance that Nigeria naira depends on. And the moment that is no longer there, Nigeria naira will become as naked, as naked. You know what nakedness means anyway. So over the years, they have, under these rogues, they attacked that source. The the crude oil of Nigeria that earns Nigeria Forex was completely depleted by themselves when they bring in different vessels into Nigeria waters, drain Nigeria crude oil and take them out of Nigeria free, at free will. 700,000 barrel of crude oil was being stolen every day, and nobody discovered them. Within 8 years, Nigeria became bankrupt. Meanwhile, there was no single investment in the real and true infrastructure, even when they were borrowing money at ridiculous interest rates for donkey years to be paid back. Imagine Nigerians who are not born right now, those who are yet to be born as Nigerians, they're going to be born into the indebtedness. There are some of the debts of Nigeria that are to be repaid back for 100 years by these rogues, by the way. So they depleted the source of Forex for Nigeria, and they invested in nothing. So when they borrowed money for infrastructures, they still stole that, to the point that after 8 years, ladies and gentlemen, with the money they borrowed, over 110 billion US dollars, all the projects remain 10, 15, 20% completed. That means majority of them are still far away from completion, because that is the window to continue to what? To loot and budget for them, and loot and budget for them. A recurring decimal. Now, when you have this in place, the first thing you are going to expect somebody to do who really want to help your naira and help your economy. Meanwhile, before I get to that, so some of you who usually feels like it is your wish that you can pray while these criminals gang enough, right? And then open the vault for their own luxury, not for anything productive that will eventually give back and money apart from crude oil. This is the style. So when they attacked the Central Bank of Nigeria, attacked the Nigerian the economy through their greed, round tripping, those who needed the access to Forex were denied access, except for the criminals who are stealing your naira, converting them to dollar. This round tripping and the rest of that completely brought Nigeria to where Nigeria is today, right? But what they were doing in between, right, was that whenever the demand for that dollars rises, and then the naira continue to go on and on and on, they will quickly go and source for dollars. Okay, that was when they still used to have it too. They will quickly go and source for dollars and then secretly put them in some banks and make some announcement and say, if you need dollars now, go to the banks. So they were doing all this voodoo economy because up till now, nothing is still being done to back your naira. Even if even if it is just your refineries and electricity that they fix, your naira will have something to back it. The demand for those who are bringing those things into Nigeria using dollars will completely cut it off. But who are those behind paying those dollars to those racketeers? Your government. But we'll get to that part because that is where Dangote comes in now. So what they have done what they did under Bukwari, Emefiole style, get some dollars, pump them, $1 billion, quickly share that. Before that one finish, at least Naira will stay in some place or even go down a bit. Then we can now use that because Nigerians have been sort of bedeviled with Stockholm syndrome. So they will forget that these rogues met the same Naira at 145 Naira when they could still manage their greed. But when these ones came, they came as if to say they have an expiry date for Nigeria. When Nigeria is going to expire, they were stealing, they were looting like there was no tomorrow. And those money are currently in the hands of some of those who are still prominent inside this Tinubu's government. So I told you when they were making move to borrow money, everything they are doing right now is borrow. I told you when they approached the Afrexim Bank for $3 billion, and they said they have intention of reducing the exchange rate, from breaking it down by December. So when they finish the $3 billion, which is pretty much like, okay, tell all your paddy and the rest of them, we are going to provide $3 billion. Now you can begin to ask for your own allocation. Ask yourselves, if the same dollar that went to 1,200 Naira, 1,300 Naira, just about a week ago, suddenly came down to 990 Naira or 1,000 Naira to $1, how come a bag of rice hasn't changed price? How come everything within the whole space are currently not changing price? Because they won't. Because it is called voodoo economy. Once they exhaust the dollars they've managed, they borrowed it, they didn't earn it. It is not that Nigeria produced the 3 billion. There is no record that the money is coming from the sale of crude oil. Those who were stealing your crude oil and sold NNPC, they are still in charge of telling you how much crude oil they sold and how much money they will provide. There is no record of that. Same way they borrowed money that they want to use palliative to cushion the effect of removing subsidy. And when they borrowed the money, they shared it. It's not producing anything. It's shared. Same way they are approaching, they will give them crude oil. They are not even telling everyone how much crude oil they are going to give to the people that gave them $3 billion. Because according to them, it is not going to be added to the Nigerian debt. They are going to use crude oil to swap for it. Now, if they have started receiving the tranches of their $3 billion, always remember, it is a loan. And when they finish it, when they finish that $3 billion, would they get another one to borrow elsewhere? That is why it is called voodoo economy. And when you look at the robotic voluntary slaves, everything I have told you right now does not make any sense to them. Sure, you understand? But they are still the same people that are going to be asking themselves, how come things are not changing? How comes the prices are not going down? How come we are not getting, why is, if they say they have done this, how come this is not changing? Because what they are showing you is the abracadabra of economics. Nigeria, do you believe that Nigeria produced $3 billion revenue. And if I ask you from what will you say it is from? Anyway, we'll come back to that. So here is a call having a chat with his ministers. So tonight, the broadcast is always going to be in phases. So let's go back to this phase and we're going to come back to the central bank corruption of the century. But yet, Bokuwari is not in jail. What's that one again? Malamu is not in jail. Adis Sirika is not in jail. Okay? What's that one's name again? Usman, that woman, the finance minister, she is not in jail. And all of the criminals, in fact, Kiyari, the one at the NNPC, is not in jail. In fact, the rest of them in that NNPC, they are currently not even being investigated. But somehow, like I said, it's not because we believe that anything is going to come out of it. My own picture is to let you see that if you fall for any of their lies, deceit, and the rest of that, fine. But do not forget that if you believe any of their lies, you should begin to see the difference in what you believe. But when you are not seeing difference, they will tell you that all of that effort, the reason why you are not seeing any difference is because there are some enemies of Tinubu who don't want you to enjoy the fruit of his government. But thank God enough for those who still have their brain and mind intact. The decision to know of why things are not changing or they are getting worse and the rest of that, you have all the information you need on this platform. But let's go to their gathering where he was talking to them. It is all what salad, blue, bala, blue. I wanted to kind of pick few things from that, if you can. And I'll stop there. I'll stop the video once you start getting annoyed. Wow.
Like I said at the opening, we can spend the money, but we cannot spend the people. We have a responsibility to our country to make sure we change completely the narrative about Nigeria. If we have problems, let's talk to one another. Let's have conversations, gentle conversations about our country. It's not about just leave me alone, I'm going home. You may not have a home. There's nothing you can do successfully without good health care, reduction in poverty. Like I said before, poverty is not a shameful thing, but it's not acceptable. Are we going to dig our people out of it? If you look at your background, no matter how wealthy you are today, there's a trace of poverty in it. So it's left for you and I to navigate this ship out of poverty. We have a lot of work ahead of us. I am confident. Now, with the attendance, concentration, you've seen the quality and the character of ministers. You've seen it. You've seen the demonstration of knowledge from head of service to accountant general and other civil servants. Yes, we the politicians, we are the soldier go, soldier come. We are the permanent secretaries. But we have to live together. You have no choice. I hope that is clear.
Nuisance leleyi. Nuisance leleyi.
Without apology. Meanwhile, I don't know if I should remind any of you who recently joined us on Mayegun's Diary Politico. I mean, I know that we've had a lot of people who recently joined us, okay? So if you are the type who kind of is politically correct, you know, those who love to throw the word respect, culture, tradition, and all those things about, this platform is not for you. You may take your suspicion back. I mean, it's for your own sanity. It's not, there's no hard feeling. No. Do you understand? So we don't do political correctness here. Then we don't do age here. You know what I mean? Like, is he not old enough to be your father? Abulori Bruku ni father atieni. Here you understand? That will be the response we'll give to you. Because you know why? On this platform, okay, we have already sort of demystified that myth. But let me explain it to you. Sorry for that digression, brethren, because I just need to say that because some people will just be like, oh, I'm so disappointed in this guy. I actually thought this guy was this or that. And you know what I mean? Because they just joined, you know. They are the type that will tell you that let us criticize with respect, all those stuff. So that's why I want to quickly address them. Just quickly, 5 minutes. You understand? So on Mayegun's Diary Politico, you cannot come here and be shouting one Nigeria, they go slap you. Do you understand? Even if you are for one Nigeria, you go wait until you have a chance. You read the room before you jump into any conversation on this platform. Do you get that? Now, for those of you who are always throwing in God, also, this platform is not for you, okay? Because according to us here, we have discovered so many techniques, so many gaslighting techniques that the criminals running and ruining Nigeria have used over the years. Do you understand? We have seen them use the gaslighting word like, I am old enough to be your father. I am rich enough to not steal your money. I am a man of God. You have to respect me. And other nonsense that they have used to deceive and gaslight people. We have respect for those who have respect for us, whether they are young or they are old. That is a normal etiquette of life. You respect everyone. On this platform, we have discovered a long time ago that the criminals ruining Nigeria, old and young, male and female, Muslim, Christian, and atheist, northerner or southerner, we have discovered that they have no respect for any Nigerian. You know, if you have respect for people or a country that you have a chance of administering, respect, you would never treat an average Nigerian the way they are treating every one of us. They call us ordinary. Have you forgotten? When they are talking, they will say, we need to remember the ordinary Nigerians. So they've already disrespected us. They denied us all of the good standard of life. They denied us that. They turned us to sort of scavengers, right? And they are proud of what they have done. Now they are asking for respect. Come on. Would you respect people who have disrespected you? Is that a normal thing? To respect those who continually, constantly, and confidently disrespecting you? Would you? Now, that's why they don't have any. Now, if you begin to play the card of age on this platform, we have also demystified that nonsense. We discovered that criminals also grow old, just like foolish people also grow old. So you cannot say because you are now older and you are a criminal, proven with facts, and you say, respect me, I'm old enough to be your father. Hello? My father is not a criminal. My father never participated in public looting. Excuse me, you are a criminal, whether you are old or young. On Mayegun's Diary Political. Do you get that? We also know, and on this platform, we've also demystified those who usually drop God every now and then in the conversation around governance. We discovered that Nigerians who are brainwashed to continue to use God, where they are supposed to use their brains. They didn't arrive at that by themselves. We were conditioned right from our birth, conditioned to believe that even when criminals are looting us face to face, God can change the story to what we want it to be. So it would be like a blasphemy for you to say, leave God out of it. On Mayegun's Diary Political. Kó bàjẹ́ fún blasphemy. Kó bàjẹ́ fáwọn wèrè tẹ́ pè ní pastors. You know why? Because when they start telling you to pray for your leaders, they are actually telling you to pray for criminals to leave. So that's why we said, when you have your God and you have your faith, as a Muslim, as a Christian, it is a very good thing, a very private thing. Do not let anybody gaslight you into thinking that your faith in that your God is the same faith that is needed to fix the electricity, to fix the medical care, to fix your infrastructures, to protect the country, and make sure that the young people are indeed gainfully employed and engaged, right? So when you begin to mix God with governance, we quickly tell you, hey, hello, ace. You get that? So if you are the type that you believe so much in God, we are not questioning that. We are not, in fact, denying the existence of God for those who really, really believe. What we are saying is this. Politicians also shout on God. By the special grace of God, a thief is telling you by the special grace of God. A thief can also read the Quran. You know that. These criminals, kidnappers, and the rest of it, they can also read the Bible. And if you allow anybody that can quote Bible and Quran, who has an opportunity to run a country, but failed to, decided to ruin the country, if you allow that person to use your relationship with God to judge his own failure and the rest of that, now we are not going to let you drag us into that. And that's why we tell people, keep your God out of it. Please do. And if you feel like you are insulted because of the way we say it, then to hell with you and that your God. Because God is not a magician. God is not going to give you electricity. God is not going to build you roads. The God is not going to chase and then prosecute terrorists. No. God is not going to stop thieves who are changing figures, inflating contracts and budgets in order to siphon your money and grandstand on it. You cannot call God for that. You would have to do it yourself. Now, the courage and the brain to do it yourself is what I preach on Mayegun's Diary Political. So you can't blackmail me. You get that? You can't gaslight me. You cannot use God. You cannot use age. You cannot use home training to gaslight me when I'm talking about the criminals. Because I know those I'm talking about. And they are enablers. Do you understand? You can't use those. Because if you think I lack home training, I was not brought up properly, my parents didn't train me well. Hello? If I ask you, who are the parents of these criminals who are ruining Nigeria? Who knows that the money meant for building hospitals, that they are now using the money to buy properties in Dubai, and millions of people who are supposed to have access to medical care, including children, will be denied. They will be denied those opportunities. Now, do you get that? You can't tell me that they were trained, their parents taught them how to be thieves, how to be cold-hearted, how to be murderers, how to be genocidists, how to be unpatriotic. Abi, don't be the Nigeria where those who are ruining Nigeria, they have parents too, Abi. Their parents are like my own parents, Abi. So my own parents trained me, Abi. Their own parents trained them. Now they have the opportunity of making a country great, making the lives of their own citizens better. They choose otherwise. Now, if me is reacting to that, you are saying I lack home training. Who trained those ones? Who trained these people? Your governors, your senators, your local government chairmen, your ministers, your commissioners, the thieves that you know. Which home did they train them from? Better home? Is that why you have a better country? So please, you can't gaslight me. If you are new on Mayegun's Diary Political, you are welcome. In fact, if you have a soft spot for them, that is yours. All I have to care about is your conscience. On Mayegun's Diary Political, you cannot gaslight us with one Nigeria. No, you can't. Because we know there is no one Nigeria. You cannot tell us to come and pray. We should come together. You are deceiving yourself. You can't do that with us. I mean, if you are new, you know why you can't? We know there is no one Nigeria. There are many Nigerias. Conduct a poll among Nigerians and tell them, would they support an Igbo man to be president of Nigeria? Come back with the results and tell me you are shocked. I am shocked. Because you are pretending all this while. There is no one Nigeria. You have many Nigerias. And that is why it is not working. And that is why it will never work. The only way it will work for all of us is the day we stop deceiving ourselves and we decide that, okay, can we have that chat? Can we have that conversation? I mean, for the first time since colonization, since independence, can we even ask these over 200 ethnic nationalities? Can we ask this group of people, tribes, who speak over 500 languages, if they really want to be together? I will be one of the generation that will continue to put that in your mind. And I'm not going to be against whatever you actually think is going to fix Nigeria. When you try them and you fail, you will remember Mayegun. Therefore, you can't gaslight me. You can't gaslight anybody. You can't even, there's no way you can. Let's go back to that retreat where Kolu is also talking. New sans leleyi, because I want new sans ló ń rule Nigeria, tí wọ́n ruin in Nigeria. Continue to take side. You will come to your own reality too, like others before you. Sooner or later. Let's go back to that retreat. He's still there yapping.
And focus on the progress of our nation. It is through this that we can be truly proud. I am proud standing before you. I'm very, very proud of every one of you. And I am proud of myself too. I went for election, I won with your support. They took me to court, I won. You have been here. Thank you very much. So we've been here, we've tinkered and tweaked focus areas. Area 1, reform the economy to deliver sustained inclusive growth. 2, strengthen national security for peace and prosperity. Boost agriculture to achieve food security. Unlock energy and natural resources for sustainable development. Enhance infrastructure and transportation as enablers of growth. Focus on education, health, and social investment as essential pillars of development. Accelerate diversification through industrialization, digitization, and creative industry, manufacturing, and innovative technology. I could hear two of the minister, Naji, say the satellite is gone. But we say satellite is here. I like that. At least we are thinking. We are deep in what we are trying to achieve. That's a demonstration of knowledge. And I am sitting there as the chairman of Boundary Dispute Commission. It's just too interesting. And I know all of you are, you achieved the goal to end this retreat today because you want to be away for the weekend. No, not because you've exhausted the topic, but the only way to make it happen is to say, hey, we might extend this thing to Saturday or Sunday. So once they're here, they will do the job. I am glad you are doing it, and you've done it. So, today, I thank all of you.
Let's just leave it at that. Okay. So, as usual, just talk, all talk, and no real plan other than the usual, okay? But if for some reasons you believe otherwise, I love something called time. It will reveal everything. You cannot use words to fix a broken system. You would have indeed to show working whereby you are not wasteful too. So when you have people who are practically wasteful, but telling you they are actually doing it, they have a program, they have this, they have that is coming. No, they have nothing that is coming. And only time will tell, right? Because it is already telling. I mean, Abi? Right. But like I said, there is some good news on the horizon. It is not to your own interest, but it's good to know. Okay? Yesterday, a French delegation visited Kolu, and they told him, we currently have 150 million US dollars of Abacha's loot that we would like to give back to Nigeria. We just need you to do the final paperwork and then we'll pay you the money. So immediately people started reacting. How much gong did Abacha loot? Like, why is it that almost every government since Abacha died has been receiving Abacha loot. Like how much Gongon did he? I mean, during the Abacha time, Nigeria was under different sanctions, okay, including financial sanctions against Abacha, against Nigeria. But the same Western countries of power that sanctioned Nigeria, how come they managed to welcome Abacha loot, as in Nigeria money, into their country? How